What is up? Back here with a video where I share my thoughts, opinions, a little bit of a rant kind of deal about Ric Flair, or at least whoever runs his Twitter account, because one of the few times I try, when I say I try and avoid Twitter, but one of the times that I look at it, I went to like the For You portion on like the Twitter or X app, and his tweet popped up, and I'm like, Ric Flair being Ric Flair kind of deal. And it wasn't until one line in it, like, I'm like, whatever kind of deal, but I'm gonna screenshot the photo or the tweet and put it here where you guys can read it. I'm gonna read it for whoever might be listening, but for the people who would want to pause, read it, and then skip, I'll put chapter markers for it, but here we go. The tweet says, I woke up this morning to find out that I'm no longer allowed to be with Rings of Fight per WWE. Let me think. I'm the only wrestler to ever be on 30 for 30 and ranked in the top 25 of all time, an Emmy-nominated documentary courtesy of WWE, which I should have won, but I lost to a team, not an individual. 21 world championships, but I always played by your rules and kept it at 16. Paid Vince McMahon back $800,000, I assume dollars, when he said he would forgive it. I honored it. Fortunately, I still make $1 million from the great Ryan Furtman at Furtman Sports, $500,000 from Ric Flair drip, and thank God for Tony Khan. What more of my legacy do you want to destroy, WWE? You all grew up loving me, and I sat at the bar. Now you are trying to kill me and diminish my legacy. Thank you, but it ain't happening. Nice try, LFG. Let's effing go. So that was the tweet, and I have no idea what kind of spurred on. I think a little bit of, like, when I say Googling, when I clicked on the link for the Roots of Fight, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think CM Punk, Bret Hart are some way, shape, or form affiliated with it. They're both, to my knowledge, under WWE contract, whether it's an active superstar wrestler like CM Punk or some sort of Legends deal like Bret Hart kind of deal. So, and again, please correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Ric Flair, or isn't Ric Flair part of it? I know that he's also affiliated with AEW at one point, so that part, it's like, if he hypothetically was under WWE contract, I don't think the fight or Roots of Fight deal would hamper it because of WWE, but he might be with AEW, which could, again, if somebody could clarify that for me. When it comes to the 30 for 30 and ranked in the top 25 of all time, I don't know what 30 for 30 is. Top 25 of all time of what? Showing your man parts to flight attendants, maybe? Kind of deal. An Emmy-nominated documentary. When I say, the only thing I know about an Emmy is that it's an award show. I don't know what documentary. I know it's not a Grammy. I know it's not for movies kind of deal, but it's the line, or I guess the two lines of, what more of my legacy do you want to destroy, WWE? You all grew up loving me, and I set the bar. And how do I put this? Ric Flair, it kind of destroyed his own legacy. Granted, I've said this before, for people who don't know, I started watching in 2004. Definitely past prime Ric Flair kind of deal. I don't want to say let me just put the 04 through 08. Ric Flair was not like the 80s Ric Flair kind of deal. But again, when I think of Ric Flair, I think of him showing his man parts on the plane ride from hell. I think of him, or at least whoever runs his Twitter account, pardon my French, but bitching and complaining on Twitter. That's what I think about. I think about him doing drunk cameos before I think about his wrestling career. And again, that could be, when I say me think, that could be the generation I grew up with, of being 9, 10 years old in 2004 and not growing up in the 80s Ric Flair kind of deal. And it's just one of those things where I don't know if this makes sense, but like in the case of Ric Flair, he claims WWE destroyed his legacy. Like, again, to me, Ric Flair destroyed his own legacy kind of deal, if that makes sense. When it comes to the 21 versus 16 championships, he's not a current champion, thank freaking goodness. So either way, he lost the championship in a predetermined sport 16 to 21 times kind of deal. And again, keywords, I guess, predetermined sport kind of deal. If it was 16 or 21 NFL championships and the NFL wanted to destroy Tom Brady's legacy or something like that, then that might be a little bit different, because to my knowledge, the NFL is not predetermined, but or at least not in the same scale of WWE. But yeah, when it comes to like Ric Flair, I'm not claiming to be the smartest person in the world. I know I'm not. But like Ric Flair, when it comes to somebody arguably high profiled like a Ric Flair, like anybody that had an extended time in WWE, you should have somebody else running your social media kind of deal. Unless it was, no offense to Colin Delaney, he's the first one that comes to mind, but like if you had a minute with WWE and like kind of arguably forgettable, that's different. Somebody on the like arguable name recognition should have somebody else running your social media. In this case, Ric Flair should have somebody running his social media, but with the amount of ex-wives he's had, I don't know, and like I don't know if alimony is the right word, but like he has to pay his ex-wives allegedly, and lost a lot of money doing that way and doing this and doing that kind of deal. But yeah, to me, I'm not saying WWE's picture perfect. I know it's not. If you watch the product, if you know what's going on behind the scenes, it's not picture perfect kind of deal. But Ric Flair kind of destroyed his own legacy, in my opinion. Did WWE help? It depends on kind of what era you're looking at. But yeah, that's it for this one and whatnot. I just had to let it off of my chest, so to speak. But that's it. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below.
I guess some bitches know my name. Got that